In wrestling games over the years, there have been a lot of wild storylines, from Teddy Long getting ran over to The Undertaker possessing people to, of course, you becoming a mass murderer in WrestleMania Revenge mode. But to this day, nothing in my opinion is more insane than the season mode in the first SVR. The season mode where, yeah, you can go and challenge for championships and try to be the best in the world, or the very same season mode where you ravage and pillage the women's locker room. This is something that you just have to see to believe, so let's get straight into it. So I chose John Cena as my character, I loaded up the mode and it started, and I instantly got a cutscene where it was Rene Dupree and Tori Wilson arguing. So Rene Dupree had been on a losing streak and he blamed his manager Tori Wilson for everything. So then here I come to save the day, and about 30 seconds into season mode, my mission had begun. There I was backstage touching up Tori Wilson's face, looking like a certified creep, and the plan to seduce Tori Wilson and take her away from Rene Dupree was in full effect. So I won a few matches on Smackdown, and before you know it, Tori was the one that was all over me. So she would find me backstage and start flirting with me like her man wasn't right there, but clearly Mr. Cena's seducing was definitely working. And as poor Rene Dupree was trying to get his career back on track, next thing you know, I was out here sneaking into the women's locker room and finding Tori, and she was giving me the look. And finally, after weeks of this back and forth flirting, Rene Dupree had enough and he challenged me to a match on Smackdown. And I was like, okay, you know what, that makes sense, right? At the end of the day, this is a wrestling game, we're here to wrestle. Next week I get to beef Rene, and maybe during that match I'll impress Tori Wilson. And at this point, this still felt like a pretty normal storyline, right? Like nothing we haven't seen before. So we get to the next week, it's Smackdown, it's the night that I'm supposed to fight Rene Dupree. So I was chilling backstage and all you see is Tori Wilson is there with you, and she was all over me. Cena was getting touched up, and it's clear that this man was in heaven just from the faces he was making. So then she tells me that she wants to be my manager for tonight's match, and I'm like, alright, cool, you know, sounds good. And the next thing you know, she starts getting undressed. At this point, I'm just so confused, like, yo, what is going on? And Cena makes the creepiest face I have ever seen in a video game in my life. Cena makes a smile that I wish I hadn't seen, and then the next thing you know, we're making out, and just when you think it couldn't get any crazier, like you already had a girl undressed, you're making out, Tori Wilson takes you with her into the showers, and it gets steamy, it gets hot, it is no holds barred in there. Eventually Tori's bra gets thrown out, and all you hear is the commentator Taz saying,
I was about to say he's gonna be in action next, but hey Cole, kinda looks like this guy's in action right now.
what kind of wrestling game is this? I will never forget being 7 years old and playing this and just thinking that this was the coolest thing ever, but I had to be so sneaky. I knew if my mom was home, there was no way in hell I was even touching season mode, because if she walked in on me and she saw this, yo, she would have no-scoped me with her slippers before I could even turn the TV off. So yeah, you take Renee's girl, you wild out in the showers, and then the same night you casually go out there and beat the shit out of the poor guy in a wrestling match, and then you proceed to make out in the ring after the match. What a lifestyle. Obviously Rene wasn't gonna take too kindly to this, so he attacked me after the match with a chair. He just attacks me, lays me out, and then he tells me, if you want Tori Wilson, you have to fight me for her. Last man standing match at Judgment Day for her contract. And at that point, it is established that Tori Wilson is basically owned by Rene Dupree. She has no choice but to be with Rene Dupree, and the only way she can be mine is if I go to Judgment Day and beat Rene in a match. Her contract becomes mine, and then I officially own Tori Wilson. She becomes my property. Tori Wilson has no say, she has no rights. Either way, at Judgment Day, she's leaving with me or she's leaving with Rene Dupree. How do you even think of this? So I go to Judgment Day and I destroy Rene Dupree in the last man standing match, and at the end Tori Wilson is all mine. It's a happy ending. I got Tori, yay. I saved her from Rene. What a crazy storyline, but you know what, it's fine, it's over. I got my girl now. Now maybe I can go and, you know, go be a normal wrestler. I have Tori Wilson by my side, she can be my manager. You know, I'll go win the championship, maybe US title or something. And like, alright, you know, that was very interesting, but yeah, maybe career mode is gonna settle down a little bit now, right? And it actually does. You have some little feuds and some fun gimmick matches. A few months pass by and everything is back to normal, and it becomes a normal Smackdown season mode that you're used to. Until Cena walks into the women's locker room again and lays his eyes on his next target, Sable. Because apparently Tori Wilson wasn't enough, I ended up in the women's locker room once again. Sable was there, and the next thing you know, this turned in from SVR season mode into a Naughty America scene real quick. Once Cena makes us look in this game, once your character makes us look in the game, you already know what's going down. Sound the alarms, it's a wrap, it's over. Sable pulls up to my locker room. She starts telling me like, yo, you have too much tension, you need to relax, I can help you with that. And the next thing you know, you're on the table and she starts giving me a massage. And yo, not just any massage, no, ladies and gentlemen, she was tweaking, she was going off. It was so rowdy and so wild that even at my age, I was scared. I'm like, yo, what the hell do I tell my mom if she walks in here? Meanwhile, in the background, you have Taz talking about how, oh, I guess nice guys do finish first. So Sable gives you the massage, and either way, it is set in stone. The ravaging and pillaging of the Smackdown Divas locker room by John Cena was about to continue. So now Sable was my manager. Even though I own Tori Wilson and no one has seen her since Judgment Day, for some reason, no one is concerned, no one is worried, Sable doesn't care, and I swear to God, every week Cena just gets creepier and creepier on his hunt to own every diva in the game. One week, Chavo Guerrero, who's apparently the Papi Chulo of SmackDown, is begging Sable to give him another chance, and I swear to God, John Cena pulls up like prime Michael Myers. Every week he's just getting creepier and creepier. He makes Chavo leave, and there you go, Mac Daddy Cena was back in the cut. So now you're like, okay, Sable loves you, right? She's your girl, should be a pretty normal storyline going forward, right? Nah. Remember, this is SmackDown versus Raw. Women can't make choices. They can't choose who they want to be with. No, you gotta fight for her. You gotta own her contract, bro. So now you're out here having a first blood match against Chavo Guerrero at SummerSlam where the winner gets Sable. Does Sable want to be with Chavo? No. Does it matter? No. Did Chavo abduct her leading into the pay-per-view? Yes. Does anyone care? No. It makes no sense. This game legit treats the divas like they're Pokemons. You gotta collect them all, and they take the poke part very seriously. So after having a 5-star classic with Chavo Guerrero, who went Super Saiyan mode for Sable, after 15 chair shots and more CTE you can possibly imagine, I finally won the match. All was right in the world again. Cena had claimed another one. Sable was mine. The girl was mine. Where's Tori Wilson? No one knows, but it's all good. I got Sable. So now the SmackDown women's locker room has been squad wiped, and I'm like, okay, maybe now I can finally focus on my career. You know, I can go be a champion and whatnot. I can do what you normally do in a SmackDown versus Raw season mode. And you know, I do that, right? I get my neck broken. I end up in a very weird cast. You know, I do my thing. But the problem was, John Cena wasn't in the season mode for championships. No. John Cena was chasing something else. So what do you do when you already own all the SmackDown divas? Well, you go try to pillage the Raw women's locker room. And just like that, the itch was back, and just like that, I was backstage just casually sitting down in the Raw women's locker room, being the biggest creep ever, and just staring down Stacy Keibler, and she was next. So yeah, forget championships. Instead, now I'm on Raw every single week trying to seduce Stacy Keibler, and things just get wilder and wilder. I'm in the ring one week, right? And she's trying to give me a special dance in the middle of the ring. But Eric Bischoff ruins everything. And even though after weeks it's established that Stacy Keibler wants me, she wants me, John Cena, to be her client. But remember, that doesn't matter. She has no choice. And the thing is, the entire Raw roster wants her. So what ends up happening is, for me to get Stacy Keibler, I have to win a 15 battle royal to get Stacy. I have to fight 14 other men for her like it's the 1300s or something. I literally have to go to war for Stacy Keibler. And of course, I do go to war for Stacy Keibler because I gotta collect them all. And I'm like, okay, you know what? It's a 15-man battle royal. How hard could this possibly be? You know, like, it's pretty easy, right? Like, who even could be the first entry? Like, who's this big scary guy? Oh shit. But despite there being a killer in the ring, 2 Canes, Triple H, I survived and I won. And after everything, I finally got my special dance from Stacy Keibler, and another one was added to the collection. So by now, I had 3 divas in my collection, and I really thought I had seen it all, right? Like, we had the shower scene with Tori Wilson, the massage by Sable, the dance by Stacy, and as season mode was ending and getting closer to WrestleMania, it's like, I'm pretty sure they're done by this. Like, what could they possibly do now? Like, everything has been done. SVR season mode is definitely wild, but yeah, like, that's about it, right? They can't go any further than this, right? Well, they still had one more thing up their sleeve. So after losing the Royal Rumble and the US title match at No Way Out, it's fair to say John Cena was very depressed. And the only thing that was gonna cheer him up was getting the grand prize. And that was completing the Diva collection with Trish Stratus. And with Trish being the grand prize, everyone and their mom in the season mode wanted Trish Stratus. So that meant I had to beat Chris Benoit, Garrison Cade, The Undertaker, and Eddie Guerrero. Even though once again it was established that Trish Stratus, she loved me, she wanted me, this was what she wanted, yo, it didn't matter, she had no rights, and instead 6 men were gonna fight for her. And just when I thought they pushed all the limits, right before that match, we got some of the craziest cutscenes I've seen in any wrestling game ever, including one where Chris Benoit, yes, Chris Benoit of all people, kidnaps her and takes her away to Raw, so then you and RVD gotta go and save her. But the most wild cutscene was definitely the one with The Undertaker and Eddie Guerrero going through her bags backstage and finding these. And then you had The Undertaker drop this gem of a line.
Man, can you imagine how Trish looks in this?
The Undertaker, yo, they had The Undertaker go into a studio somewhere and say this word for word. I can't, it doesn't even sound real. Like, please just listen to this once again.
Can you imagine how Trish looks in this?
And that itself is really foul if you think about it, right? But yo, that is nothing, because just listen to what they say next.
Yeah, and now that you're here, you could be our manager. I think we'd make a great threesome.
Orale, and we won't take no for an answer.
Bro, what the fuck? So Eddie and Taker steal those from Trish, right? And Vince McMahon ends up making a match at WrestleMania, a triple threat tornado ladder match where the winners get the services of Trish Stratus. 6 men, 6 bozos at Madison Square Garden at WrestleMania were going to wrestle in a ladder match, and the winners would end up getting Trish Stratus. And if that itself doesn't sound crazy enough, if that doesn't sound insane, look what they decided was going to hang from the rafters in the ladder match. Yo, I just want to know, what kind of crack were these developers on? Why were they like this? Where did they get these ideas from? Why did they proceed with this? What was wrong with them? But yeah, so after the shower with Tori, the massage from Sable, and the dance from Stacy, the SVR season mode ends with Trish Stratus' panties hanging from the rafters of Madison Square Garden and 6 men trying to grab it so they can get that 100% Stratusfaction. So after playing the match, which was an absolutely chaotic match, people dying, CTE everywhere, after finally going up the ladder and grabbing it, the panty raid was complete, and best of all, my collection was complete. Okay, John Cena had wiped both the Smackdown and Raw locker rooms. I owned everyone, I collected all the Pokemons, and yo, looking back, did I win any titles in my season mode? Did I win any championships? Nope. Did I win the Rumble or anything of value? Nope. But I got all the Pokemons. So season mode ends with you in the ring with their partner RVD and Trish Stratus. Everyone's so happy, you just brought down the panties from MSG, you saved the day, you saved Trish from The Undertaker, and thank God you saved her from Chris Benoit. What a great ending to a crazy season mode. Wow. That was definitely very interesting and very wild, as the title suggested. But wait, you really think the crackhead developers of this mode were just gonna have it end in the ring like that? No. Story mode wasn't over yet. Instead, you find yourself backstage with Trish Stratus, and you end up sitting in a dark lit room, there's a candle, and you're sitting there with your grand prize. And eventually she comes over and puts a blindfold over you, and in just a few seconds later, to end the season mode, to end your journey, you finally get that 1,000,000% Stratusfaction. The season mode to the very first Smackdown vs. Raw ends with your character, Trish Stratus. I can't, yo, to this day in 2022, I can't believe that this was a thing. It still blows my mind seeing some of these cutscenes, seeing some of the jokes they make, the things that they imply, and honestly, by the end of it, they're not even implying anything. It is right in your face. This is a season mode on a game that was rated T for teen and is a part of the PlayStation 2 Greatest Hits collection. This was a part of a game that we grew up playing. We used to play the season mode as kids. As insane as revenge mode was, this is something that is right up there. This is something that when you really look at what you were doing in this mode, it feels surreal. I can't believe that this was a season mode in an SVR game. And I still can't believe they had The Undertaker go in the studio and say this line. Nah, like at the beginning of the video, I told you guys that SVR season mode was crazy, and now looking back at it, I think the word even crazy undersells it. What a time it was to be alive, and what a time it was to be a 7-year-old kid playing this secretly so your mom doesn't walk in and see you doing this. Crazy, crazy times. Anyway, let me know in the comments below if you guys have any memories of playing this mode. If you played it back then, or if this is your first time seeing it, yo, let me know your thoughts down below. I am so curious. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a blast to make and I had a lot of fun making it. It's your boy Pav, aka Wrestling Gives. More content coming soon as usual. You know how it goes. So see you guys soon, okay? But until then, I'm out of here. Take it easy, guys. Later.